I played the biggest tournament for the year of my home course. It was a 2-day member guest format. My partner was my schoolmate in high school. Since I created this tutorial, this is my first tournament where my individual score gets recorded, so it's the first real test for my tutorial. On the first day, I failed to break 80. My power drives were going to the right. I fixed the error by introducing the dip turn line in my swing thought, and the next day, my score was 78 gross. What's really amazing is I didn't make a single unforced error. In this video, I will show all my 78 shots. I am more convinced my tutorial will one day be popular around the world. All my principles and techniques really work, and it's something anyone can follow regardless of talent and ability. There is nothing special about me. If I can do it, anyone can. First, I would like to explain why I'm using a cutout from a rubber hose as a tee. This baby will last forever, and it only costs around 10 pesos, or in dollars just 20 cents. I'm not a stingy tree hugger. I'm inventing this game called Barrio Golf, and one of my objectives is, except for the golf clubs and balls, all materials should be easily affordable. My friends who are helping me develop the game argues that the hostie will ruin your shot. They prefer the more expensive dildos that easily wears out. So I'm using this more durable and cheaper cutout from a water hose as my tee in the entire tournament just to prove them wrong. I will even use the same tee length for driver and iron shots of the tee box to also prove that my smart string technique in my tutorial really works. When the blueprint of Barrio Golf is done and you read it, I assure you, you will be blown away on how amazing it is. It will allow anyone to master all the critical skills in golf regardless of economic status, busy schedule, and climate, meaning it can be played indoors during winter season. I am confident Barrio Golf will one day be popular all over the world. All the information anyone needs will be in a YouTube channel created for their native language. This was the first hole. As I mentioned in my tutorial, always check your stance by facing your body to the target in case one of your eyes is more dominant than the other eye, and always use your smart string to enforce your golden swing setup angle. I'm using my conservative swing as I do in all my shots except in wide open fairways.
Shot.
This is where my ball ended up, right in the middle of the center. Notice I'm taking advantage of the free rehearsal where I practice swing and make sure I get the divot location right. And notice I practice bounce. I hit it clean and straight, but I used the wrong club. It's a symptom of a hitting cage golfer. Fortunately, club selection and distance control is the easy part and can easily be learned by playing more rounds. So now we get to test the chipping technique in my tutorial. Practice swing, practice bounce. Perfect. In my tutorial, there are 5 putting techniques that I'm experimenting. In this tournament, I'm using my horizontally square putting style. It was okay, but the flat plane style I used in the tournament a month ago was much better. I only made one birdie putt and I was not even using the horizontally square style. Instead, I sank the birdie putt from outside the green with an 8 iron using the flat plane putting style. Therefore, I will never use this putting
Inside.
style
Yeah,
again.
birdie.
But I'm glad I tested it in the tournament to convince myself that although this technique is fundamentally sound, it's not compatible with the wirings in my brain. This is the par 3 second hole. I missed the green, but for me, it's as if I'm on the green because of a technique in my tutorial. Let me read an excerpt. Have you ever watched a scratch golfer chip around the green? Unlike us uncoordinated golfers who just try to get the ball near the hole, scratch golfers actually try to sink their outside the green chips. I shake my head when they try to argue with the caddy if the break is 1 ball left or 2 balls left of the hole in a 20-foot chip. It's almost like they are putting. Do you wish you can also do that? Yes, you can. Just read my tutorial, but it also helps if you play ungkul golf so you develop a sense of ball behavior on the terrain outside the green. And during slow practice rounds, do the billiard drill by hitting another golf ball while waiting for the group in front of you. My only error here is speed control on the green. I lack the feel for ball speed on the green because I rarely play. I only have time to practice at home where I can only master directional control. Luckily, speed control is the easy part. You can easily develop a feel for speed control by playing more rounds. The important thing is that the principles and techniques in my tutorial really work. Before the pandemic, anyone who ever played with me can tell you that I can never make a putt from this distance to save my life. Sometimes I would even three putt from this distance. The pandemic gave me time to analyze how to improve my golf game and develop this tutorial. Now, I can easily sink these kinds of putts even if I'm using my least effective putting technique.
Nice.
This is the par 4 third hole. I tried to hit a low shot or stinger so that in case my ball goes to the right, it will hit the mount and not go in the water hazard. I talked about this in my tutorial and this is exactly what happened. My ball was on its way to the water hazard, but because it had a low trajectory, the mount prevented it from going in the water. As usual, I was 3 under. I don't understand why people call me dishonest when I tell them I'm always 3 under when I play golf. This video finally proves to everyone that I'm always 3 under when I play golf. Notice I'm hitting a slight downhill lie. Before I analyze the golf swing and develop this tutorial, I will always hit a bad shot when hitting on an uneven lie. Now, I can easily score pars even if my ball ends up in an uneven lie. As I said in my tutorial, the best chance you have of achieving your goal of breaking 80 is in a mountain or hilly golf course. A hilly golf course is usually short to compensate for the difficulty, but if you read my tutorial, hitting uneven lies becomes much easier even for us untalented golfers, and the short hilly course becomes our friend. As I said in my tutorial, your hands should feel sticky when gripping your club. If not, that means there is oil in your hands and you will be scoring double bogeys and you would not even know why. You can rub your hands with alcohol or just plain water to remove the oil. I do this before putting because it's okay if my hands are still slightly moist when I putt. By the time I get to the next hole, my hands will be completely dry and for some strange reason, holding the club will feel sticky and I feel more confident. If it does not feel sticky when I grip the club, I feel insecure and I usually end up with a bad shot. This is the par 4 fourth hole. It's a wide open fairway, so I use my power swing. This is where my shot ended up, right in the middle of the center. It's like I'm performing surgery on the golf course. I really don't have any special talent or ability in golf, but I can now follow any line my caddy gives me, thanks to the principles and techniques in my tutorial. Anyone can be good at putting if they follow my tutorial.
Nice, beauty.
Inside, yeah, birdie.
Here my caddy told me to hit right of the green because it will kick left. Unfortunately, it did not kick left. I bogeyed this hole but I'm still happy because I had no unforced error. My errors had nothing to do with my technique. I missed the putt but I followed the line my caddy gave me. This is an example of setting smart goals.
Nice shot.
I also bogeyed this hole and just like the previous hole, I was still happy because I did not commit any unforced error. My tee shot was straight, but I used the wrong club. I also read the green wrong when I chipped. I accurately followed the line my caddy gave me, but I hit it too hard. As I said in my tutorial, the definition of unforced error differs for each golfer. Example, if I play at least twice a week, then I would consider errors on club selection and speed control on the greens as true errors.
Nice shot.
Notice I'm always in the middle of the fairway. This is called performing surgery on the golf course. This is a 40-yard pitch. If only I have time to practice my chipping distances, I would be scoring more birdies on these par 5s. As I said in my tutorial, anyone can master distance control in chipping regardless of talent and swing style. You just need to spend lots of time practicing. The good news is, chipping practice is fun, therapeutic, and a healthy exercise. It's like yoga or meditation. You can even listen to your favorite podcast to broaden your knowledge at the same time. We were allowed one mulligan on each nine, but I did not have to use any of them because I didn't have any disastrous error. All my errors were from lack of distance control and speed control on the greens, which is only due to lack of playing time and has nothing to do with the techniques and principles of my tutorial. This was my last chance to use a mulligan, so I redid my putt from the fringe to try and sink it, but the result was the same.
Par.
R means paro paro G. This is supposed to be the toughest hole of this course, but if you master my tutorial, tough holes like these will be just like a walk in the park. This is a ball above feet side heel lie. Before I developed my tutorial, I would always mess up when hitting on a side heel lie. While I was analyzing the mechanics of a golf swing, I discovered that it should not matter if the ball is above or below your feet. As long as your swing setup angle is the same, the timing and groove of your swing is the same as hitting on a flat surface. So for moderate side heel lies, you just need to adjust your stance width and knee angle and use your smart string to enforce a consistent swing setup angle so you don't have to worry about dreadful errors such as grounding the club, tapping the ball, or your ball ending up in a different barangay. It's an inside joke with my Korean golfing buddies. If the smart string becomes popular, I'm sure it will be banned so that golfers will spend more time looking for their ball and the game will be slower. This time, I'm hitting on a ball below feet side heel line. Using my smart string to enforce my golden swing setup angle, it's almost like I'm hitting on a flat surface, and the ball almost went in.
Nice one. Nice.
My schoolmate in high school, Dodong Pelicano, birdied the previous hole and is putting for another birdie. By the way, just want to make it clear that his attire is because he is a huge fan of Tiger Woods and not a political statement.
Two birdies in a row. Awa day.
Again, my ball is right in the middle of the center, although I bogeyed this hole because my approach shot was too short. I already updated my tutorial, but at that time, I was not aware that when hitting downhill lies, my ball position should be backwards in my stance, or closer to my right foot. I didn't count this as an unforced error because it's more of a knowledge mistake that's easy to correct. My putting errors were always to the left. This never happens with my flat plane and vertically squared putting styles. I will never use this horizontally squared putting style again, but I continued to use it for the rest of this game just to confirm that although most golfers try to putt with the club head horizontally squared, this style is not compatible with the wirings in my brain. This is a narrow fairway, but I'm using my power swing because even if my drive ends up in the fairway bunker, the principles and techniques of my tutorial makes it easy for me to hit good shots from fairway bunkers.
Yeah.
Another supposedly difficult ball below feet side heel lie, but with my smart string, it's now easy for me to hit side heel lies.
Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Boom.
Oh.
Another birdie opportunity, but my putt goes left again. I can't wait for the next monthly medal where I will be using my very lethal vertically squared technique. This is the hole-in-one prize for this hole. This was the same hole I scored a hole-in-one 6 years ago, where I won close to 2 million worth of prizes, including a subdivision lot, A brand new truck, a motorcycle, plane tickets, 100K in cash, and 6 nights in Plantation Bay, where I scored another hole in one.
Sud. Ah!
Ever since I created my tutorial, I never scored a hole in one again. This means you should not read my tutorial if you ever wish to score a hole in one. That's just basic logic.
Uy, kabig.
Another birdie opportunity.
To learn.
Birdie!
I tried to hit the cut path so my ball will go an extra 50 yards.
Batid. Cut pat lang. Bang!
Nice one.
This is another downhill lie, which I also hit too short because I did not move the ball position backwards.
Nice one. Sakto kayo. Ay. Nice. Uy.
Kuha sa
Sayang.
speed.
Oops, I forgot to use my mulligan. I should have chipped again to bring the ball much closer to the hole. That's okay, I already accomplished my mission, which is to break 80.